Okay, the board voted at 7:39 p.m. to return to regular session, so we return to regular session now. All right, we've gone over all the administrative items, so now we're ready to call for question on administrative items. So there's been a motion and a second to vote on that. Is that an all yes on all the administrative items?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, Ms. Lucas, would you share with us the individuals in H and I, please?
What's the changes?
Oh, yes.
Yes, to all these?
Yes.
Okay, on H, to ratify and approve the 2-day suspension of teacher without pay, Ashley Pritt, for violations of the Employee Code of Conduct according to provisions of West Virginia Code 18A-2-8. And I, to ratify and approve the 2-day suspension of service employee without pay, Mark Midkiff, for violations of the Employee Code of Conduct according to the provisions of West Virginia Code 18A-2-8.
Okay. Any further questions? If not, call for question. Then an all yes vote?
Yes.
All yes vote. Okay. All right, we'll move to the finance section, please. Okay, a motion to the finance.
I'll move.
Mr. Curry.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wilkerson. Mrs. Gandy.
Okay, item A, scheduled invoices totaling $886,121.16. And invoices are available for public inspection at the county office. Item B, adoption of the proposed budget and levy estimates for Lincoln County Schools for the 2015-16 fiscal year in compliance with West Virginia Code 189BC. And I have a quick little handout that I'll go over, unless you guys want me to go over this one.
Start with the
You sure? Just and I'll just be a few minutes here.
You might have to learn how to spell my name.
Oh, did I do that? I started to look at that and see if I spelled it right.
I'm a
sorry,
biblical
Steve.
student.
Oh, that's right. Okay, on the first page there, we just got some quick facts. Did you get one of those, Sean?
No, it's fine.
Extra copy. Here, here's one. Just, a lot of people like to know what kind of operating budget we're gonna have for the next fiscal year. So in our general fund, we're gonna have $33.3 million. And in our special revenue, we're gonna have $7.1 million. So our total operating budget to begin the year is gonna be $40.5 million. And then we'd like to compare it to what we had in the prior year. So the prior year, we had $37.6 million in our general fund. And there's a huge decrease of like $4.3 million. And it's not real money. It's kind of a journal entry. Last year, they wanted us to budget it in. This year, they say don't put it in. So it's just kind of one of those journal entries that I'll make at the end of the year. It's money from the state that covers unfunded liability for retirement. So it's just an accounting entry that I'll do at the end of the fiscal year. So they didn't want it in the beginning year budget. Okay, and then I just noted that, what the decrease was. And then I just went ahead and put on this first page, you guys always like to know how many employees we have. So we have 316 professional employees that are budgeted for next year. And for service, we have 200.925. And if you want to know how we get a .925 employee, that's because they're FTE for service people. Anybody over 200 days counts as more than one position. So the total employees next year is going to be 516.93 employees. And of those 516, there's going to be 19.805 that don't have any type of funding source anywhere that's going to cost us an estimated $1 million.
Is that service and professional?
Yes, that's both. And so on our budget, we are budgeted out, based on 3,711 students, we budget out $8,331 per student. Okay. And then the next few pages are just kind of charts for people that like charts. Those are all pretty. But I would like to take us to page 8. And page 8 just gives you a listing of our employee breakdown. We're going to have 28 administrator and other professional positions, 288 professional instructional positions. We'll 316 of the professionals. And then if you follow that across, 303.58 are going to be funded, 12.42 are not. Estimated cost of $60,000 per employee, and that's $745,000. And then the next group of people are going to be our service people. We have 2.2 accountants and clerk positions, 33 aides, and we have a new category this year, and they're called assistant teachers. And those folks were formerly classroom aides. They are now called assistant classroom teachers.
Is that just
For
kindergarten?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Yes.
So we have 14 of those folks. And it's a nice little pay raise for those folks. And they've had to, they had to upgrade their education, take some classes, and the state's rewarded them with a pay raise. So it's real good.
One thing I want to ask,
Okay.
is you may not know the answer to this, but I know from having attended our training, oftentimes there's a lot of criticism of the central office for being bloated.
Mhm.
Can you comment on our ratio of administrators to professionals?
I can tell you how many we have, Rowdy, but, I can't give you a ratio right off my head.
I know that we actually do fairly well compared to
Yeah,
other
yeah,
counties.
we really, in reality, we don't have that many administrators that are funded through the formula. Actually, for the central office, for all of us,
I mean, I'm just looking at the administrator and other professionals'
Mhm.
positions. That would include central office, correct?
right, and in all your schools, your principals at your schools. Let me just give you an example. At the central office, we have 3.2 people in the formula, or that are funded, and we have a half of special ed, which is Bill. His other half is funded through a state grant, and we have maintenance and transportation. So there's really just not that many when you look at the central office folks. Then the rest of those are principals at the schools. And then, like, I can shoot you out that detail.
I don't need to see it, I just
Okay.
wanted to
So
be
I think we
known
would
that-
be real low.
That we do really well
Yeah,
compared to
yeah.
other
Yes.
systems in terms of administrators to
Yes.
professionals.
Because once we lost that one particular position with Mr. Lee.
Yeah,
ago,
okay.
I sort of dispersed the responsibilities to the others.
But even before then, we compared favorably
Yes,
to
we
the
did.
counties.
Yes, but we are very aware of that, and we try to absorb as much as possible, like Mr. Lingle with the two diagnosticians when we did not replace them.
No way to compare us to 20 years ago. Central office.
Yeah, gosh, it's been, of course, people are more efficient now. We have computers, and, everybody just does a lot more of their own work, and
I can't describe it.
okay, we have 46 bus drivers, 32.5 cooks, 28.335 custodians, 2 LPNs, 7.2 maintenance, 3.6 mechanics, 18.09 secretaries, 12 executive secretaries, and 2 sign language positions. So we have 200.925 service, and if you go across, 193.54 of those are funded, 7.385 are not. Estimated cost of $38,000, and that's $280,000. So that's references back to the pay. I just put up a quick little excess levy, just to keep you guys, always want our excess levy at the forefront. It's one of the greatest things that this school system has. And that's just, the levy call was 3.5 million, and so we're gonna get 3.6, well, almost 3.7 million next year. So any extra, I just kind of put it into instructionals. Now, let me just kind of share this with you. It's kind of a good thing. And maybe Sean will maybe talk about it in the newspaper. July 1, we're going to have an improved vision plan. I met with the Delta representatives when we were at ASBO, and they presented a new plan to us. It's still going to run through Delta, but the carrier will be Group Vision. And so we're going to have a network, which means we can go to lens crafters, and they're going to, you don't have to pay up front.
After July?
Yeah, July 1. Yeah, so it's going to be really, really good. So I was getting ready to go get glasses, and I had that meeting. It's like, oh gosh, I'm going to wait now because it's going to have better benefits. Lens crafters will participate. Sears, JCPenney, Sturgeon's, and there's a couple places in Tays Valley, and HING, if anybody goes to HING, I think one somewhere in my staff right there. So you can use what we've always used, you can go to anybody you want to, or you can go into that network and get those discounted rates, like with dental, Delta Dental. When you go to the dentist, you do a Delta dentist, you get a really reduced rate. So the vision plan, and I've got a letter ready to roll out to all of our little retirees to let them know about it, and then we'll get a communication out to our employees. That is a new plan, I'm really excited about that.
Could it be lens crafters everywhere?
Yes, it should be Steve, yeah. Okay, the next one is, I just wanted to update you guys on our long-term debt, when we're trying to plan, different things, and, I get questions, well, how much do we owe, and da-da-da. So, the high school, the outstanding debt that we have at the high school, our final payment on that will be made, August the 15th of 2021. And then the next year, the other QZEP bond will be paid off. So then we'll have all of that debt wiped off the books, and maybe we can look at some other projects. Okay. Then on the next page, this is more of the detailed, this particular page is the state aid funding. Sometimes you guys like to know, well, where did different items change? But in particular, I want to just let you look at item B, which is our buses. See, Carol, on page 11. Okay. Oh, okay, you're right, it's on the right page. So our funding for the buses got cut $184,000. We're only going to get $238,000 for bus replacement next year, which would maybe be 2 buses. And one of the things that Rod was going to talk to you about was, we're going to try to come up with another method of getting some buses up front. And we'll probably present that at the next board meeting. With the situation that we already have with the buses, and then now this comes, so we're kind of looking at some other avenues. Item C, okay, remember all the talk that we were going to have all this extra money? Okay, so what happens is when your local tax collections go up, the state takes more, and that's on that item C. When your local tax collections go down, they take less. So, our local tax collections went down for next year. So, as you can see, the amount that we have to pitch in has went down. And I just wanted to point that out to you. And then item D is the item that we're not going to budget. That's the just wanted to point that out to you. But, a lot of times you guys like to look and see, where we changed. And page 12 is just a breakdown of revenue. I'm not going to go over that with you guys. If you want to look at it, it's just how it breaks down and goes into the budget. And 13 is a breakdown of expenses. And if you just look at that first group that I have there, the employee cost, 77% of the budget. And you can see how it breaks down: professional wages, service wages. And then purchase services, we're looking at 2%. Water and disposal, it's less than 1%. Repairs, 5%. Supplies, 7% of the budget. Then all the other things are 9% of the budget. And you can just see how those compare to the previous year.
Normally, the employees are about 80%.
Yeah. By the time we end the year, it'll go up. It'll bounce up. And 14 is the 6-1 account. And then on 15, I just kind of wanted to bring this back, because remember when we had our personnel hearings and I gave you all these numbers at the top? It's like, here's what we need to do. So at the bottom, here's what we actually ended up budgeting, is this section down here. So we actually didn't cut any positions. we actually ended up adding .39 of a position. So right now, nothing else changes, we will be over 26.85 positions going into next year. You see that on line 56? And it's actually an increase over of 3.95. So, you know, we've had some good plans that just, of course, a lot of it's Bill Ingles' fault. No, I mean, a lot of it is special ed. I mean, that's pretty much what we
I
put back.
think you saw
Yeah.
a direct correlation to
Yeah.
the referrals
Yeah.
and the students that were identified, and when that occurs, then we have to have the services, whether it's a teacher or an aide.
Okay.
Understood. Anybody have any questions, Mr. Gandy? Thank you, Bert. This is a good snapshot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you want the other
Even though
one.
it is 20 pages long. Okay. All right, does anybody have any questions about the budget or the invoices that we're paying tonight? It's not for call for questions. Is that an all yes vote on the finance items?
Yes.
All yes, okay. Go to personnel, motion please. Carol? Rowdy seconds. Trish?
Okay, section A is for the employment of short and or long-term substitute professional personnel. Section B is for the employment of professional personnel. Section C is a transfer of professional personnel. Section D is employment of service personnel. Section E is employment of extracurricular personnel. Now, item 5 under E, please strike that one, delete it, because he withdrew his bid for that position. Section F is the reclassification of service personnel. Section G is a leave of absence for the two identified people. Section H is retirement and or resignations for those positions noted under effective date, whether it's a resignation or a retirement. And the third page, section I, is employment of extracurricular summer 2015 professional and service. I'd like for you to go down to item 28 and strike that one. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and that is because on the posting, as you all know, for service personnel's positions, we have to include the time that those positions will, that are required, and that it had the wrong time on it. So we will abolish those at the next board meeting and then repost with the correct time. Also, number 43, strike that name because she withdrew her bid. And then at the bottom, to abolish an extracurricular posting, ELC 16-40 for athletic trainer. Any questions?
Okay, any questions about any of those things? Okay, if not, call for question on that. Is that an all yes vote on the personnel items as presented?
Yes.
Yes.
All yes, okay. Okay, we'll go into the comments and concerns. First,
Yes.
does anybody have any comments or concerns
Yes.
that are not related to personnel or whatever? Mr. Williams?
Yeah, I spent some time Sunday afternoon out at LCHS, and band practice field isn't gonna be ready for use in my estimation without some hazards in this. It's not all spots where there isn't any grass and eroded places and so forth, so. Did not the parents say that they would take care of anything after we did the hydro seeding and everything, or am I mistaken?
I think that's what they indicated. The students were trying out there with steel blocks and things like that. I haven't really looked at it. Have you heard anything, Mr. Mickey?
Well, I talked to Dana Smith the other day, because he wants to go over and do some work on those ditches
Yeah.
that they filled in
Needs
over the
work.
winter. And while he's doing that, he's gonna take some of that dirt, take it out there and fill in some of those low places, kind of help out with the.
You know, we're rapidly losing the time of the year when you could get some grass growing in there.
But I think some of the parents have been out there, volunteered their time, to try to get some grass to grow out there. For whatever reason, I don't know what they're doing, you know, the grass is not taking hold.
Did we have any guarantee on the hydro seeding? Did they say they'd come back and fix the patches?
I don't know, I have no idea. I don't know what you do when you get washouts and it erodes it away, or, you know, wash it, I don't know there now.
Yeah, it's gonna need work.
Maybe, Mr. Mickey, if you could check with Dana to see about the hydro seeding status.
He plans to do some work soon on that van practice.
And then the only other concern I had was looking at the ramps and steps out there. Of course, you know what's happening with that. And I was looking at the spillway on the top of the ramp section, if you understand what I'm saying. It looks to me like that spillway has hairline cracks in it. If it does, that's gonna be a problem.
Be repaired to, or something done to it. Yeah, the last time Dana reported to us, I guess we're still, haven't heard anything.
Yeah, they haven't heard anything about it last time, probably they.
He has tried to initiate some conversation or get those two, the architect and the contractor, to have conversation, and that hasn't taken place yet.
There's some places out there, if somebody would lean against the pipe, the railing, it's not the whole thing, but there's some areas there, it would cave in. Some of it's already on those corners and the side sections of the rails, and some of the cement's already fallen away.
Now, they did take the pictures, they have all of that information, but it's them getting together and deciding,
And it's still under warranty.
It is, yes.
Under that, something Mr. Curry was concerned.
That's such a beautiful addition to the campus there, to
Oh,
have that happen.
I used to brag on it all the time.
It's just such a shame.
I agree. Anything else, Larry?
No, it's
Okay. Anybody else have anything other than aside from that? Okay, we have two items here. Why don't we, we'll do legal update first, and then we'll do the superintendent's applicants
Yes.
after that. Okay, all right, legal update, Mrs. Lucas indicated that she would like to have a personnel section on this.
Yes.
Okay, so, the superintendent's requested an executive session in personnel to go over the legal update at 8:03. Does that have a motion for that, please? Mr. Baker, do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Smith, and all yes?
Yes.
All yes, to go into executive session, ladies and gentlemen, once again.